Welcome. This is the writing task 1 in the academic IELTS test. We'll practice with a bar chart, a bar graph. So let's get started. Make sure that you have a pen and paper ready. So get your pen, get your notebook, get your pencil, and let's get started. The first thing we're going to look at is this. Analyze the following bar graph. You have 2 minutes to identify the main features. What's being measured? Yeah, what is being measured and how? Is it in percentages? Is it in money? Is it in liters? Is it in units? Is it in degrees, Fahrenheit or Celsius? What's the time element? Is it like 1 year, 1 day, 1 hour, a few days, a few years? Is it 2 separate years, or is it from 1 year to another? And then what things are being compared? In this case, I'm giving you some options here. Is it the number of this? Is it the money they spend? Or how do countries spend the money? Are you ready? Let's get going. Here it is. Boom. You can pause the video as you do this task, okay? All right, so if you haven't paused the video, you can do so now. Make sure that you answer the questions correctly again. So we go back here. You have to say what's being measured, the time element, and what's being compared. But look at it, some students may be thinking they're comparing cars. Yes, they're comparing not the cars, but actually the things that they bought this year, right? They're called what? Consumer goods. So these goods, they bought them in those countries. What's being measured is the expenses. See, expenditure, how much money they spent in these countries. And then you look over here, it has some, you can see that there is the how is it being measured? This is pounds, so you know, British pounds, and is in thousands, starting at 50,000, 100,000, and so on. So these countries, as you see, France is represented in blue, the UK in orange. So that's what's being compared and how. Time reference, we know this is only in 2010, so only 1 year. Do not get confused. Do not think that is longer than 1 year. It's only 1 year. So as you answer the questions, you have put them together into a paragraph. And that is going to be the introductory paragraph where you describe the graph. Very easy, right? Let's go back and take a look. These are the questions as you answer. You can pause the video here if you need to. You can complete this. You don't need to print anything, just write the answers down. This is mental work, so you don't have to really think, oh, I gotta write this down. Now, all you're gonna do is answer the questions. Look at the graph, pause the video, write your answers. You put the answers together into a paragraph. Next, you have 2 minutes to write the answers to these questions. Number 1, identify which countries spend more money on consumer goods overall. What the total? Yes. What is the total amount of money they spend? And then, what did both countries spend most money on? I'm helping you here, right? Because this is what you gotta look. It's about expenses, so they spend more, and then what they spend the least amount of money on. That is the main feature. It's very important. You have to have the main features. What stands out? Well, number one is where they spend more money, both of them. Oh, that's not the one. It's here. Number two. What did both countries spend most money on? And then the least amount of money, right? And then another feature would be the significant, important, the greatest difference. The greatest difference. Yes. Those are the questions you got to answer. And we move on. There's the graph again. You can pause the video, answer the questions, rewind if necessary. We are moving on so that if you're very fast, you can just go on, right? Here are the questions again. And the graph or the chart. And here we go. Once you finish answering those questions, you're going to put the answers together into a paragraph. That was going to be the overview. So what do we do? First, we got these questions to identify the main features and what is being measured, time element, what's being compared. And then we put those into the introductory paragraph. Now we are in the overview because we answer questions like this. Which country spent more money? What did both spend most of the money on? And you'll quickly see that it would have been this, right? Okay, we're not going to get into the details, but that's the answer to one of the questions. And we're moving on. So that's your overview. I want you to do it, because if I do it for you, then you do not practice. This is, by the way, part of our training. If you want to get feedback and get personalized assistance, then make sure to, of course, subscribe, but most importantly, give us schedule a call with us. The description is down below. Now you're gonna write another paragraph, right? Because you already finished with the first one. So that's the overview. Now write another paragraph giving more details about your answer to question 2. So what did both, that's question 2, right? So you gotta focus on that country. When you write this paragraph, focus on that country that spend more money. You need to add the sentence on this country's, on the same, that country's second biggest expenditure or expense. And then to make sure you don't forget about the other country, compare it. Did they spend the same amount of money or less or more? Should be less, I think. And include the numbers, you know. Was it, I forgot. Was it 40,000 or 400,000? Whatever it is, you just gotta do that. You know, add it, include it. Next, add a sentence on that country's second biggest expense and compare, you know, that was the UK, so compare that to France. And finally, you have to write one more sentence or two, actually one more sentence. Any other goods that the UK bought and spent more than France did. Yeah. Moving on, that is going to be the first paragraph on the first main feature. Yeah. So this is the question, the graph again. You can pause here if you need to. What do you have to do? This. You already have information from the overview, these questions. So now you're gonna have to take question number 2 again. Yeah. And we're gonna go over here and make it a paragraph and add some extra over here. Make sure that this paragraph is complete. The first main feature is going to be focusing on one country. Yeah. And then that country, I mean, that would be the first main feature. So moving on, there's a graph. Now, do you want to do the same? Talk about the other country. Yes. What did the other country do? How did they spend their money? Where did they spend more money on? Include the figures. Yeah. And then add one sentence saying that they spend the least money on what? Did they buy fewer cameras? No, we cannot say that. But they spend less money on cameras. Or they spend less money on cars. What is it? If we go back, you can pause and do it. Right? If you're still here, you're done. Make sure you do that. And you should have all your paragraphs now. Paragraph number 1. Remember what it was? It was the intro. Yeah. Number 2 was the overview. And then we got the first feature, then the second feature. Boom, and done. This here is the second feature right there. Okay, so I hope this was useful. If you need any help, reach out. The description will contain all the information you need. There is going to be all the information you need to contact us should you need help. Give it a like, share it, learn, and may your dreams come true.